Let's go surfing now, everybody's learning how. Come on a safari with me. Come on a safari with me.
Hi, my name is Monica Ravichandran, and I'm an Indian Hindu born and raised in the city of Cupertino, California. Before I talk about California pluralism, let me tell you a little bit about myself and my family. I come from a long line of vegetarian Brahmin Indian Hindus. My grandparents from both sides of my family lived in a city in South India called Chennai. Both families ironically ended up moving to Bangalore where my parents had a traditional arranged marriage. Both my grandparents from both sides of my family were and are devout Hindus. Yet, as the generations continued, that traditional mindset never carried, as my parents left to seek a more prosperous life in California. They initially moved to Florida in 1987 and then settled in Cupertino in 1995. Now that I have given an introduction on my history, let me introduce my city, Cupertino. I have lived in Cupertino all my life. It is known for being one of the most Indian and Asian populated cities in the country and therefore lacks in diversity. It is also located in the heart of Silicon Valley and therefore has a lot of tech companies. I think it is this culture of a focus on wealth and education that has made the city of Cupertino a very religiously diverse place, even though the cultural diversity is severely lacking. To prove my point, I have interviewed two people with varying religious backgrounds who also were born and raised in Cupertino to speak about this.
Religious diversity in our city basically just looks like no real restrictions, no sense of anyone feeling unsafe to practice or share what their religious part or how religion is part of their lives. So growing up, I never felt that restriction on myself or on anyone else around me, and not a lot of people are that hardcore, so to say, religious, and even those that are, and there's some that I've known growing up with, they're able to practice safely and like express themselves safely.
There's a large amount of religious diversity within the city just because a lot of people are open to practice whatever religion or whatever beliefs that they do have. Even though we are religiously diverse, we're not ethnically diverse, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we aren't religiously diverse, because you'll see all sorts of types of religions, not only in the work environment, but also in schools. I remember when I was in high school, we had a large amount of students who practice all sorts of types of religions. And not only that, there's no oppression to anyone who practices a certain type of religion or anyone who believes a certain type of thing, which I think creates such a diverse community in general, just because there's so many different people who come from different backgrounds, which also come with different beliefs.
I think California first as a state, because like we have the largest population of immigrants that come here, so there's that. So we already get a lot of diversity from there, but specifically in Cupertino, I'd say because religion is not Cupertino's biggest area of focus, so to say. So those that do come here to live and families that come here that are more religious than others, it doesn't have that much of an impact of those around them, because we don't focus on that, or we're not against that. Like I said before, there's no restrictions on religion. So I think just because in Cupertino we kind of put more focus on education than religion and practice, it's not that big a deal, and no one's really against any specific religion.
I think California does a good job in welcoming all of these religions. I feel like wherever you go, though, there are always going to be people who glorify the hate and towards these certain types of religions, especially in this day and age. The media plays a very big role in how we perceive certain religions, specifically Islam, and I think that's not a good thing to demean a religion, especially when billions of people practice it. And I think one thing that we can all do, not only as Californians but as just Americans, is to understand where a lot of these people are coming from a religious background, because what we read on the news and what the media says is not true.
Even though I was born in a long line of devout vegetarian Indian Hindu Brahmins, it took me a very long time to accept my culture and my religion as a whole. My parents accepted the modern and liberal ways of California and never forced me to pursue my religion. Because of this, I had lived in ignorance about my religion my entire life. I identify with my religion solely because of the heretical inheritance, and it is only now, after learning about my religion, that I realize that I truly do agree with a lot of the notions and ideas that Hinduism has to offer. It is because of Cupertino's accepting and inclusive nature that I never had the anxieties to strongly identify with my religion, and my interviewees agree with me on that. We all know the basic fundamentals of our religion, but focused more on our education and success rather than figuring out what we identify with. This further delves into what California believes in as a whole. California is a religiously diverse place due to the number of immigrants that come to this state, just like my own parents, and because of the fact that we focus on education and have a more liberal and modern mindset which promotes inclusivity and awareness. So if you're a Hindu from India like me, a Muslim from Indonesia, a Buddhist from Vietnam, a Christian from Hungary, or a Pastafarian from New Zealand, California welcomes you.